when they're stealing billions of dollars. It's incredible. And so the thing started off being funded by people, I think, who wanted it to turn into a confrontation which would lead to violence and then martial law. That's what I think they were up to. And that's why a lot of those old-time communists are in there, some of whom I met and know from the 60s. And they've been neutralized. I think the public has gotten into the ranks, and they've neutralized it to a great extent. And I'm happy about that.
Okay, we're going to go to the break shortly, but going to come back with Bob Chapman for the final segment. Again, I want to direct people to InfoWarsMoneyBomb.com. We're in the final 10 minutes of the donation drive today. Again, as I've said before, you know, we're not funded by George Soros. We're not funded by the Carnegie Institute. We don't get handouts from these kind of people. We're completely funded by our listeners and our readers, and this is how we've been able to challenge the establishment media, particularly over the past 2 years with building the TV studio and reaching more people than ever. We get more traffic to Infowars.com than MSNBC.com, for example, which of course is funded by General Electric, and we're not, which is why we need your support. But that just illustrates really how many people we've been able to reach on an independent media platform that does not get handouts from NGOs or billionaire philanthropists, as many of the leftist foundation websites do, like MoveOn.org, Think Progress, and Media Matters. And of course, we get more traffic than all of them as well, because at least we try to tell the truth, and our message is not poisoned by political influences from either the left or the right. We're going to take a break shortly. We're going to get back to Bob Chapman. Again, the major issue at the moment on Infowars.com is this upcoming attack on Iran. Earlier I was talking to Brian Gerish about how the Israeli lobbies have actually got in with BBC and Sky News editors and made them, quote, change their narrative on Israel and Iran. So we're going to see a lot more of that. An article, big article on that coming up. Stay tuned. InfoWarsMoneyBomb.com. Welcome back. It's the final segment of the Money Bomb Marathon. You made it to the end, and we're talking to Bob Chapman of TheInternationalForecaster.com. Bob, tell people how they can subscribe to the International Forecaster.
Well, the easiest way is probably to get a hold of the people at Midas, and that number is 877-479-8178. That's 877-479-8178. That's toll-free, and they will send you a copy either of the email version or the hard copy version of the International Forecaster. And they also have a offering for a full 1 year free subscription. And the deal that they're offering, I think, is terrific. We have many people take advantage of it. And it's the purchase of one coin. I don't know the price of it today, but I'll guess at $360. And if you do that, and that's a very competitive price that they're offering them at, you can get a free 1 year subscription. So if you want to be a subscriber, that's certainly an inexpensive way to do it.
Now, I mean, we've got all this financial turmoil swirling. How can people best protect their wealth? What can they do to thrive and prosper even in these difficult times, Bob?
There's only one way, and that's to buy gold and silver coins, bullion, and shares. And that's it. I've been in the markets for 53 years. I owned my own brokerage firm for many years. I was on Wall Street for almost 30 years. And now I have a second avocation for 23 years, which is writing the International Forecaster. But that is the only way. Markets will go up and down. There'll be a lot of volatility. But if you look at history, you'll see that it is the only way for you to preserve your wealth. And that's really what you're trying to do. If you happen to make money at it, well, that's fine. But that's not the intention. The intention is wealth preservation.
And I mean, gold's taken a breather. It went up past 1,800. It's back to 1,750. When do you envisage the 2,000 level? Is it going to be next year or before the end of the year, Bob?
I think very much so that it'll be 2,000 to 2,200 by the end of the year. And usually January and February are very good months for gold. And so with that said, we have a shot at 2,500 or higher, maybe 3,000. And you always have to remember that the government's your enemy because they're in rigging those markets all the time. There are no free markets left. And it's not only gold and silver, but it's commodities and bonds and stocks worldwide. And so you're going to have to contend with that. And there's going to be a lot of volatility. So expect it. But there's nothing in which you can invest today that doesn't have volatility unless it's flat on its pants. And you could take real estate as an example. It's still going down. It'll continue to go down. It may not recover for 20 or 30 years. So you really don't want to be there for any reason. And so the safest place to be is in the gold and silver related venue.
Hey, guys, Alex Jones here, interrupting in customary fashion right at the end. I want to thank Bob Chapman. I want to thank Aaron Dykes. I want to thank Paul Watson. I want to thank the entire crew and everybody and all the folks that were here. I want to thank the people that have donated to the InfoWars, moneybomb.com. And I never even made my point, because I don't like asking for donations, that Red McCombs last week, Richard Reeves pointed this out to me, gave $6 million to the University north of Austin. What's the name of that university? Yeah, Southwestern. For their football team. Folks, we need the heavy hitters to donate for the... Stay there. We're coming back with more news. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now 27-plus hours into this transmission, and I've decided to go for another hour. No, I'm just joking. I actually have hit my second win. I feel great. Man, I felt hammered this morning when I woke up. I went to sleep for a few hours while Watson filled in, and they came back, of course. And... coming up, we're going to turn off all the converters and things here in about 5 minutes. Well, guys, we can't turn it off because some stations actually carry this next hour. Genesis will do it. Okay, you guys have already all worked it out. Here I am worrying about all this. But if you go to Infowars.com or PrisonPlanet.tv, we're going to 27 hours restream the entire show. And I don't know what they're doing. We were talking about airing the middle of the night first and then kind of mixing it up for people that miss that. We got a Skull and Bones special, never before behind-the-scenes stuff with Charlotte Iserby. Yeah, exactly. And what the streams and the links you've got that are on Infowars.com will be dead for about 10, 15 minutes. 15 to 30, and it'll all fire back up, so those pages you have, those video links. Again, Bob Chapman's here with us. I just want to point this out, because I never really got up here and started pitching all this. And I just had a lady who wanted to talk to me on the phone. I'm about to leave, folks, so I can't talk. And another fellow said he wanted to make a big donation. I think we wrote the number down wrong or something. But whatever. The point is that I do not want people's little donations if you don't have the money. If you're worth $10 million, want to give me $5, that's great. We appreciate it. Thank you. Or spread the word about the show or buy my DVDs and make copies, get them out to people. It's all about getting the word out. But you see Red McCombs. You guys find that article? I saw it last week in the newspaper. $6 million. Red McCombs, I think the headline was, donors, because it was two of them, McCombs one other, gave $6 million for the lacrosse and football program of the University north of Austin up in, I've been up there at Georgetown. What's the name of the university again? Southwestern. My memory's not working right now. I normally would know that. I have friends that went there. It's a great school, I'm told. The point is, $6 million for football. I could see $6 million for a planetarium to study, astronomy, or $6 million for nuclear physics, or $6 million for, whatever, or a Second Amendment Foundation or something. But $6 million for football. I mean, this is just ridiculous. So, in closing, I want to hit our goal of 500,000 because then I could really hire a bunch of people, reporters, crew, really kick butt, have a budget for travel. That's what really kills us. But if you go to InfoWarsMoneyBomb.com, we've raised over 300,000, and usually more trickles in over the next 4 or 5 days. I think we'll hit 350 or so. But InfoWarsMoneyBomb.com. A comment on donating to worthy causes. The system's scared of us pooling our money together and actually building an alternative media system, Bob.
And they should be. This public certainly isn't getting the truth on the mainline media, and they know that. They want an alternative, and were you able to do that, it certainly would be inviting. I'm sure it would also bring all kinds of further harassment and, the way they've attacked the station before. But they're terrified, and they should be.
Yeah, here it is. Red McCone supporting efforts to bring football back to Southwestern. And it's a total of $6 million for that and lacrosse, women's lacrosse. I mean, give me a break. This country's going to hell in a handbasket. 15 million kids are starving to death a year. This is obscene. And it's his money. He can do what he wants with it. But that's who I'm calling on. It's the rich people out there. I mean, I don't understand it. You're mad about what's happening, but we're the tip of the spear. And I don't see as many big donations this year as we've seen in past. I've seen a lot of little ones. And quite frankly, I don't like little donations from people that don't have money, because then I worry about when I'm spending it that I do it just right and make the right decision. It's all of you rich people out there need to step up and go to InfoWarsMoneyBomb.com or call 888-253-3139. Paul Watson, I want to commend you and say great job, my friend.
Okay, thanks, Alex.
My point is that the government takes your money and then uses it against you, and then as people have less, then they even give less to their own families or to their church or to their community. And that's why the globalists want to impoverish society, so people don't have money to give it to political or media organizations. And we're building alternative media. George Soros gives all these tens of millions to groups like Media Matters that just spew lies and twisted disinformation and other prattle and spittle at us, which is great. It's a badge of honor. But again, people like Soros, a lot of that's money he's gotten out of all sorts of global swindles, and he couldn't even overturn his conviction in France. That came out a few weeks ago, and it's just disgusting. So that's why we do this, because the system always freaks out. My gosh, people that are into liberty are selling videos and writing books. Oh my gosh, don't educate people politically while funding yourself. That's dirty. It's only good to take money at gunpoint as government and give it to MSNBC to spew anti-gun garbage. I can tell you, we're having a national effect. We're having a global effect. We're having a bigger and bigger effect all the time. In fact, it's scary. And I know we have a responsibility to go to the next level. So InfoWarsMoneyBomb.com or 888-253-3139. Because, man, I tell you, they're like, this person really wants to talk to you. And I get on the phone to some really nice lady. And then I have the idea, oh, my gosh, the Red McCones thing, I forgot to make that point. And so I run back in and say, put me back on right as the main show's ending. Put me back on, because I meant to cover this the entire time. This was going to be my pitch. My pitch is always what I believe in the truth. I mean, I was going to get a bunch of examples of people giving. I've seen $10 million gifts to football programs. And here it is. I mean, Red McCombs, $6 million. I mean, it's just unbelievable. But that's his money. He can do what he wants with it. I have First Amendment right to say that's ridiculous. That's why football makes me sick in sports, where it's the God. I'll tell you this. If I had $6 million to give away, I would create my own Second Amendment foundation that did things like educate and would also try to fundraise so you can keep doing it, and that would sue government when it violates people's rights. A literal guard dog, an attack dog on the establishment. I would, if I had $6 million, I'd do what I've done here. In the last 3 years, we've been spending $3, $4, $5 million a year, or $4.5 million. So I guess, I mean, just the last 4 years, $15 million. I mean, it's a pretty big organization. And I've got to hustle. $15 million. Wow. I mean, that's a lot of money. So we talk about trying to raise $500,000. It takes a lot to have 30 employees and contractors and $50,000, $60,000 IT bills just for bandwidth a month, and $16,000 rent, and all the equipment and all the garbage. And then we fly in the system, even though we know the Federal Reserve's a fraud and the IRS is their collection agency. I pay the stinking taxes. And boy, do we pay them. Because people are like, well, then it's going to that. Well, I mean, we buy equipment and got to pay taxes on it. It's pure bull. And so when we have these money bombs, it can go right to those employees, and they're nailed down for the year. It can go right to the equipment we need. And it's just so great. So InfoWarsMoneyBomb.com.